What's happening? Andy here. I am joined today by Carsten Bruhn, the new president and CEO of Ricoh North America. How are you doing today, Carsten?
Oh, I'm very well, Andy, and I hope you're well too.
I am great. I'm here in not so sunny Rochester, New York. It is just above freezing, a typical April for us. Where are you today? Where are you?
Oh, I'm actually, Andy, unfortunately, I'm still not in North America because of the pandemic. So I'm actually still in England, in the UK, a little bit outside London, where I live very close to Heathrow. And we actually are having beautiful weather here. So, but no, I cannot look forward to, I'm really looking forward to get on a plane to North America. But right now, we all have to wait and just stay safe.
We do. I did just see, the EU is going to be opening up to us in the summer, going that way. So hopefully, things are happening, things are moving, and I'm sure you'll be over here well before that. Great to see you and finally meet you. We've seen a lot of press releases. You were announced earlier this year as a replacement to Joji, a very popular president and CEO. He's going to go take another assignment. And so you're kind of running things remotely right now, which I guess is sort of the way everything goes, right? So I guess let's jump in and start at the top, right? You guys just started a new fiscal April 1st, and that was really your beginning to this. So, how's Ricoh doing financially? How are you guys doing in globally, and then North America, the group you're taking over?
First of all, Andy, by the way, thank you very much for taking the time to see me. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
We haven't announced our results from the last financial year yet.
Okay.
I must say, as an overall group and as a company, we feel pretty comfortable that we kind of will have what I would call a respectful financial year, considering all the challenges that we've been faced with. And a lot of that is really credit to our employees. They've just been incredible. We have had employees working in the front line every day supporting our customers, but also our dealers. Just been incredible, those partners, how they have supported their customers and continued working together with Ricoh North America. So overall, I would say the last 12 months has been extremely tough and sadly have impacted some families, not in the best way. And our thoughts are definitely with those families. But also when we now look ahead again, I must say that we feel pretty well prepared for the next financial year, and we see kind of a good start to the new financial year, and that's something that gives me confidence that we will get through this. But let's be realistic. The pandemic is still there. We still see people working from home, so right now it's just very important that we all take good care of ourselves and protect each other. But when all that's been said, we do see some kind of people coming back to the office. And we definitely want to support them on that journey coming back to what I would more call the workplace now.
Well, I would say we, just so you know what you're getting yourself into, we're starting to make some progress over here. We've, the last actually month or so, I've been back at meetings. The vaccine is rolling out, so it's kind of nice. People are able to start attending things again and travel. And so we're, baby steps, right? We're making our way back to some semblance of where we used to be. Obviously numbers are still going to be impacted, but I think you guys have a better idea as an industry, right? The manufacturers of, what to expect, how bad it could be. And, again, hopefully we're coming out of that. Let's shift gears. I want to find out a little bit about you, about, your background, how long have you been with Ricoh and your role with the company prior to coming over here. And now, you're coming over to take over the reins for a pretty good organization within Ricoh. So, tell me about Carsten.
Well, thanks. First of all, I'm Danish, but I actually left Denmark together with my wife Henriette and my son Sebastian and my daughter Caroline. We left actually about 23 years ago. We moved to England, and at that time I was working for Lanier, which was one of the companies that Ricoh acquired a little bit later on. But we came 23 years ago to work as a CEO for Lanier UK, and that was kind of the journey where I became very international. Today I see myself as a truly global citizen. And 4 years ago, I also returned from an assignment in Japan where I worked for Jake Yamashita, to kind of, first of all, understand the current situation of our business and then develop a strategy on how we move also into services. And I'm sure, Andy, you heard a lot about is Ricoh walking away from print and all that, which of course we're not. But the services strategy is all about adding, to print, and that's been key. But I think what I have learned the last few weeks is that I may be one of the first commercial president and CEOs of North America. So if you ask me, my background is sales. I'm very passionate about sales. I want to be with our customers every day and our partners. So, I would say in hopefully the early part of June, I should be able to come to North America, and I definitely look forward to work with everyone there. My wife will join me. My two kids are now at an age where, one is living actually back in Denmark now and one is in the UK. But if you want the short answer, I would see myself as a commercial strategist. And that was one of the key requirements from Tokyo to me was, Jody did such an exceptionally good job, I would say, to right-size the company. And now we need to, and that's really my background. I love working with our customers and our partners to grow the business and really create that focus again. But then in parallel, we have to start to transform the business. And that's what I've done for years. And I very much look forward to the next journey.
So transforming that business, where does it go? Obviously, we did hear a lot of noise about Ricoh leaving print a month ago. I got a great interview out of one of your guys, Jim Caridi. I'm sure you've met him in person over the years, and the dealers love him. Jim was very, very candid, and right off the bat, we cleared the air on that, and maybe some miscommunication with the original article that came out of Japan. But tell me about, the opportunities here and what excites you, and, maybe what you're going to take from what you learned in Europe. Similar market, but different, right? Obviously all these different countries, but the same goal. You were there to sell hardware. You were there to sell workflow. What is it about this market that's really got you excited?
Oh, I have to say, first of all, the welcoming by our employees has first of all been fantastic. I'm very humbled, and also even about a week ago, I joined a big kind of virtual meeting with our dealers, and just feeling that whole excitement. And I would say this kind of joint partnership, that the way we work together, is something that, first of all, gives me a lot of confidence that whatever we want to do, we can definitely get to that next level. But, what's interesting with what you just said, by the way, Andy, is that, in Europe, about 12 years ago, I started the transformation in Europe. And in Europe, you have to imagine that you got these 30 direct operating companies with different cultures, kind of the different stages of where their business is. And we actually started a journey of centralizing a lot of things in the operating model, but also acquiring a lot of new IP. So when I now look at Ricoh North America, it's a massive company. And it's a big company that, in my opinion, together with our partners, we all now have to learn to become much more agile. Every day, listen to our customers. That is so important. And also listen to our dealers and partners, because they are close to the front line and they will tell us the journey that we need to get on. And when I look at the business in North America, there's some differences from Europe. The business model on how many employees we actually have working on customers' sites and taking care of our customers and working with them and supporting them with their business processes. And also some of our dealers, the size of business they do and the customers they work with is something that I'm so impressed with. So I think priority number one is never to forget where we came from. We are a manufacturing company, and that's our DNA. So when someone talked about, are you leaving print? No. We're adding to print. And we want to make sure that anything we do has a very nice adjacency with our core values. And then that whole manufacturing DNA. But more importantly, we got all our customers, in Ricoh North America, we got more than 100,000 customers, and all our dealers got a lot of customers. And they've been extremely loyal to our dealers and also to Ricoh. And I think there's such a great opportunity to actually further expand our partnership with all these customers. So again, as I said, we want to listen to them. We want to get on this digital journey. but also be very careful that the journey we go on, we will be very, very selective and then simplify and make sure that we're easy to do business with.
Well, I like what you said about the dealers and, supporting your customers, and the dealers here, especially yours, tend to be very large. You are what I would consider a top tier manufacturer in this space, just by your size and the product that you put out. I remember actually when I started my career, nobody had heard of Ricoh. I was selling Ricoh. Ricoh and Savin, you remember that brand too. You'll be using that over here, selling that over here. We were Ricoh Savin. Nobody knew who they were. And I remember they said they wanted to get up to 15, 20% market share. And we had like 7 or 8. And we were like, there's no way. So you're welcome. We did it, right? I don't know that I had that much to do with it, but I sold my fair share. But now Ricoh's a giant, and they are one of the biggies. And, you had, just like everybody else, a tough year. But you have a lot more to offer than maybe some of the competition. That facility you have out in Colorado, in Boulder, right? For example, is something that pops into mind. And that's from the old IBM partnership, right? And so what do you think the future is for that, for production print? There's a lot of talk. Dealers need to get into it. How has production hung in there during the pandemic? I know in a lot of ways, in some markets, production was actually held its own and maybe possibly was up. So tell me about production print and Ricoh and the importance of that going forward. And I know workflow is a big part, solutions are a big part, but let's not leave out production and the ink and the toner on the paper. Where does that fit into the plan?
No, Andy, you're so spot on. And I think production print is an area where we could put more emphasis on it, put more focus there, because I think it's a big, big opportunity. And I don't know how many years people have talked about the paperless world. And it just seems to me like, it's not going to happen.
Not happening in here. You should see this right over there.
It's not going to happen. But print may be different. And I actually think that's where I think production print has a big, big opportunity for us. When we look at on-site and off-site print, for me, that's still an area where we see growth. And when I talk to Gavin, leading our production print business in North America, the whole journey on how we're adding applications to it, so we can really also work with our partners in this area to digitize print. I believe that's where we need to put a lot of emphasis. Still maximize our traditional core print, but in what I see and what I hear from customers, production print is a massive opportunity for us and for our dealers. And if that's something that we may, have not focused so much on in the past, that's an area where we need to work very closely with our dealers. I have so many ideas, by the way, Andy, about our dealers and how we further develop this partnership, because we all need to go hand in hand in this transformation. And first of all, sometimes, my previous job, Andy, by the way, I was heading up our global sales. And that means, you win a very large contract and you work around the world. And in some places, it's the dealers who will have to manage that contract.
Yep.
And I'm always so impressed, because sometimes their capability is actually at a level that sometimes is better than maybe Ricoh in that area. And that's just something I love. And that's the reason why I think Ricoh should never come to our dealers and say, this is what you need to do. We can also learn from our dealers about which journey we should go on. And then we need to figure out, we do not all have to have the capability locally. If we can make sure that we have some shared assets and opportunities, but we all go to market jointly, then I actually believe that we can transform together, and production print has to be part of that. That's very clear to me.
Very cool. I think they'll love hearing that. You've got a good group, a core group of dealers that are already well involved in it. And then there's, that next level who are kind of moving up into that arena, moving upstream and looking for the bigger deals. We were just at a meeting. I was at a meeting last week for the American Co-op in Scottsdale. And that was one of the comments that, if I lose a few mid-level deals, I can sure make up for that volume real quick with one production deal, right? And
Andy, that's
may not be there, but the volume is there, and that's the name of the game, right? It's pages. It's still pages. So
no, you're spot on, Andy. And for me, that's where, first of all, in our traditional print in A4 and A3, there's still the same number of units available, but the average volume per unit is going down. And you're so right. But when you add production print to it, you can still maintain a very, very good document volume. And that's the reason why we need to have that right portfolio. Then I feel confident that we can still maximize print for the years to come.
I agree. It's not typewriters. It's not falling off a cliff, although it kind of probably felt like it did this year to the last year to you guys and a lot of your customers. Let's talk about you again and your leadership style. I've seen people come in left and right over the years. People will come from Japan and take things over, and they run it very differently. Joji was sort of a hybrid. He seemed to run it almost like an American, although he was from Japan, because he was very hands-on. That's not always the case. And we've had plenty of Americans. Brodigan in the past was a little more hands-off, right? And he was actually, he wasn't an American, he was Canadian, but he was kind of an American, right? He was just up the road, just north of me, actually. What's your style like? Do you have a big team under you that's going to handle everything? Are you going to be out visiting dealers? What is your day going to look like going forward?
Oh, first of all, I think what you will see is that I like to really make sure that everybody is involved. So you will hear me a lot talk about, by the way, diversity and inclusion. I'm a big fan of making sure you listen to everyone, and especially the front line. And that also, of course, will include our dealers. So the way I work and operate is not this kind of top-down management and leadership style. It's really to make sure that we include everyone on the journey. So the way I work is, especially now at this stage, I listen a lot. And I am working on a strategy, and I look forward to share that strategy with you, because I think Ricoh have to accept that the world is changing from this kind of product push much more to a market pull. So we need to listen much more to our customers. And I think hopefully that's where I fit in very well, because I don't really want to sit in the external office in Ricoh North America's head office. I definitely want to be in the front line. I want to be with our customers. I want to be with our dealers, and then, also be with our employees. I want to be out there and listen very carefully what's happening in the market. And one of the reasons why I believe now that's very important is that we won't have a world any longer where you can launch a product or a service and then it's relevant for 10 years. Yeah. So agility, we need to create a much more agile organization in North America. It's a very, very large company, but we have to learn to listen and then very, very quickly adapt to these market changes. I also think that it's very interesting, the question about my leadership style. I come from Denmark. Denmark's population is 5 million people. And you use the word of hybrid. So the culture in Denmark and in our DNA is we're kind of dependent on working with other countries and other places in the world. And I believe, when I look back in my whole career, that's how I also have worked. Always try to include people to make sure we work as one team. And you will hear that as part of the strategy work we're doing now. We call that the kind of the new day. So I want everybody to have this fresh mindset about now it's a new day, and we all need to start grow the business, and we need to work together as one winning team. And that's not just Ricoh North America employees, that's also together with our dealers. So hopefully you will see a leadership style that's very inclusive, that very much want to be in the front line and be with our customers. And having that commercial background, I hopefully also can create a workplace where we can have a little bit of fun again.
Well, I can tell you your dealers are going to love the fact that you were a salesperson, right? That's always nice of them to hear, because I feel like they'll get that. The only question was you're coming from somewhere else, and they didn't get a chance to know you and see you come up through the ranks. So there's probably a little bit of I wouldn't say concern, but just maybe people are probably looking forward to meeting you. So this video, I'm thinking, will be hopefully very helpful for that. I do appreciate you coming on and talking to me, taking some time out of your schedule. I look forward to meeting you in person, hopefully sooner than later. You want to wrap up and any last words to the viewers out there?
First of all, Andy, thanks for connecting with me, but also to anyone listening to this video. I just want you to know that from Ricoh Group, we very much value the business you do, and we very much look forward to work with you to make sure we can now start grow again, hopefully now when we get this pandemic behind us. And then finally, I really look forward to come and see you all face to face, have some very constructive meetings so we can start to transform our business. So once again, also for you, thank you.
That sounds great. I look forward to that. Ricoh is a big sponsor, a lot of charities that we do. We're doing the Jillian Ride again next month. Ricoh is again sponsoring that. Thank you very much. I'm actually sponsoring one of your events. We have a Puttin' on the Pink event down in the Georgia area in September. Hopefully I'll see you down at that event, a great event for cancer. A pleasure meeting you, Carsten. Thank you so much again for taking time out of the schedule. Let me know when you get here in town, and maybe I'll come down to New Jersey once things settle in with your schedule and meet you in person. But this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.